Welcome once again. This is Pinnacle Professional College, and today we would be looking into advanced audits, specifically government external audits. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. We share lectures daily or every other day for all your accounting and audit and strategy needs. If you're taking the ICA, ACCA, CIMA, this is the place for you. Now, let's look at the purpose of government external audit. Government external audit is an external audit of a government entity by a body that is independent of the entity being audited, right? So government external audit is basically an external audit by a government entity. It's the external audit by a government entity. It is the independent auditing of entities in the public sector. So here you are looking at entities in the public sector, entities in the public sector. Very key, very, very key. Now, when we talk about government external audit, we cannot talk about government external audit without talking about public sector governance, right? So public sector governance is a general term for the way in which government and other public sector entities establish and achieve their goals. So I would say it's more around the way that these entities are run, how these entities are run. It's a general term for how public sector organizations or institutions are run, administered, directed, or controlled, right? But if you want to delve into it deeper, it's a general term for the way in which government and other public sector entities establish and achieve their goals. Establish and achieve their goals, and the way that these entities and officials that run them conduct themselves in performing their roles. A Supreme Audit Institution. What's a Supreme Audit Institution? That's an interesting fancy name, right? Supreme Audit Institution. A Supreme Audit Institution is basically a government entity whose external audit role is established by the Constitution or a supreme law-making body, what we call an SAI. So when you hear Supreme Audit Institution, you should know that a government entity has been given the mandate to become an external auditor or a mandate to fulfill an external audit role by the Constitution or a supreme law-making body. So constitutional powers have been granted to a government entity which allows them to perform external audit roles. That's what we call a Supreme Audit Institution. The reason why it's called Supreme Audit Institution is because it's an audit institution that is backed by a supreme law-making body. A law-making body that's supreme, or even the Constitution. They are national agencies responsible for auditing government revenue and spending. Right? So a Supreme Audit Institution will audit government revenue. How are they managing their revenue? How are they spending? Now, on to our next point. The legal mandates and reporting relationships for SAIs vary between countries, but their primary purpose is to oversee the management of public funds and the quality and credibility of financial information. So what is the whole purpose of an SAI or a Supreme Audit Institution? It's to oversee the management of public funds. How are public funds being used? What is the quality and credibility of the financial information that's produced by these public sector entities? Someone must oversee that, and it's a Supreme Audit Institution that does that. Through public sector auditing, SAIs play a key role in the fight against fraud and financial mismanagement. So they are very, very instrumental when it comes to corruption, fraud, and mismanagement. In Ghana, the supreme audit institution, you might know by now, is the Audit Service. And who leads the Audit Service? That's the Auditor General. Now, the supreme audit institutions are usually members of what we call, I call in short, INTOSAI, INTOSAI, INTOSAI or INTOSAI. The SAIs of most countries in the world, including Ghana, are members of INTOSAI. And what is INTOSAI? It's just an acronym for International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions. International, so INT is international. O stands for organization, S stands for supreme, A stands for audit, I stands for institutions. So it's basically the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions. So it's basically a body whose members are basically supreme audit institutions. So INTOSAI, which is an independent and non-political body, describes itself on its website as an umbrella organization for the external government audit community. It's an organization for government auditors, essentially. It provides an institutionalized framework for supreme audit institutions to promote the development and transfer of knowledge, improve government auditing worldwide, enhance professional capacities, etc. Right, so it exists to ensure the transfer of knowledge and to improve how government audits are done. One of the key things that this body provides is the exchange of experience among members. So when these supreme audit institutions encounter any findings or new insights, they share, and it serves as a learning for the members. All right, so this organization continues to progress with new developments. We are still on government external audit in Ghana. Now let's look at the concept of pre-audit and post-audit. Pre-audit and post-audit. Pre-audit represents a before-the-fact type of review of administrative or financial activities. So pre means before, right? So you are looking at before-the-fact audit. Now when we talk about post-audit, it's basically auditing after the fact. So pre-audit, auditing before the fact. Post-audit, auditing after the fact. Right? So post-audit, something has happened, and then now you go after that to audit. So pre-audit by a supreme audit institution has the advantage of being able to prevent damage before it occurs. Right? So when we say pre-audits are proactive. Post-audits are reactive. Pre-audits occur before the fact. Post-audits occur after the fact. So the advantage of pre-audit is that it has the advantage of preventing a damage before it occurs. But it can also lead to an excessive amount of work. It's a lot of work and responsibilities. Now, post-audit highlights the responsibility of those accountable. It may lead to compensation for the damage caused and may prevent breaches from reoccurring. Now, post-audits, because it's reactive and it occurs after the fact, it only highlights the responsibilities of those accountable. It only highlights what has already happened, and it could lead to corrective actions being taken, like compensation for the damage caused, and may prevent such breaches if that's what the findings present from reoccurring. So what you should know is that pre-audit happens before the fact, post-audit after the fact. Pre-audit is proactive in nature, post-audits are reactive in nature. both have their advantages and disadvantages. Now let's look into government external audits and the Constitution of Ghana. The role of the Auditor General is set out in the Constitution of Ghana. The Constitution also states that there should be an audit service with a board that includes the Auditor General and the head of civil service or their representative. The audit service is the supreme audit institution for Ghana, which we've already touched on, and the Auditor General is the head. The Auditor General is the head. The Constitution sets out the responsibilities for the Auditor General and the Parliament in regard to the public accounts. So, what is the Auditor General responsible for auditing and reporting on? The Auditor General is responsible for auditing and reports on the public accounts of, number one, the courts, the central and local government administration, universities, public corporations, and any other body established by the Parliament. Right? So the Auditor General is responsible for auditing and reporting on the public accounts of courts, central government, local governments, universities, public corporations, and any other organization that's established by Parliament. Right? Always remember that the role of the Auditor General is set in the Constitution of Ghana, and the Constitution of Ghana has also stated that there has to be what we call an audit service. And the audit service should have a board, and the board must include the Auditor General and the head of civil service or their representative. So the Auditor General must be on the head of civil service or their representative should be on there as well. The audit service is the SAI for Ghana. Okay, so I hope you got this explanation. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye-bye.